Liverpool Gin Distillery on Castle Street. I'm in for Neil with John. I very rarely get to do a talking heads with John, and not in the Gin Distillery, which I think is absolutely fabulous. Big fan of gin, big fan of Liverpool gin. So I'm in like my absolute apple cart here. But it's nice to be with you, John.
I know, we used to do them quite a lot together, didn't we? Back in the day, all with Phil and Holly.
And we got sort of bumped off, didn't we?
I think people were too jealous that we were like too awesome. Yeah. And so like we had to like to be fair on other people. Yeah. We had to like, you know, do our own thing and carry them.
Yeah, exactly. We were nearly getting as good as like Eamon and Booth. And I just don't think the world was ready for it.
And that's not something you'd say lightly, is it?
Not really. Talking about today, I feel like there's only one place really we can go with this, and it's a shame and it's unfortunate, but Joe Gomez, he gets subbed on last night at the England game at Wembley. You know, England are flying, you know, everyone should be in good spirits, yet Joe Gomez comes on and there was a chorus of boos around the stadium. And I watched it, it was on the telly, it was sort of on in the background, and I thought I heard it, but I tried to double check and think I'm probably making it up. Turns out I wasn't, and he did get booed coming onto the pitch for something that was absolutely not his fault.
Yeah, I had it on as well, and you watch it and you're thinking, oh, that can't be that. It must be something else, because it's so ridiculous that you're like, oh, is he booing? I saw some people on Twitter saying, oh, maybe he's booing because they're bringing a defender on for the tackle or whatever, or then someone else suggested that the big screen went to Sterling after, and so maybe he was sort of booing him. But people would... I understand why people are coming up with other theories, because it's so preposterous, isn't it, that Gomez would get banned for being attacked. Booed for being attacked. But it was that, and it is a shame, as you say, because, you know, with England fans, you know, it always feels like there's something that they're doing which is, you know, which is annoying or ridiculous or just kind of makes you know, not want anything to do with it, like the England team, and that's how the players must feel sometimes as well, you know what I mean? Like, you know, I'm sure the players grow up thinking, I'll be proud to play for England, and then things happen either with the media or with the supporters that make that sort of less of a case, really. And so it's frustrating, because obviously, like, you know, when they went to Bulgaria, there was all the problems there, and the England fans were singing like, oh, 5-0 to the racists and all that, and it was all like good, and you thought, oh, they're backing our lads here, they're finally getting it, you know, kind of, you know, back the boys. And then it always feels like it's one step forward, 2 steps back. And, you know, the manager was obviously gutted afterwards. Raheem Sterling's had to come out, you know, and be public about it, when I think, I'm sure he just wanted to keep his head down for a while, and it's just made what is like an awkward situation even worse.
There's just no need for it. I mean, I've done the same. I've been trying to think of, was there something else that we missed? Was it because it did switch to Sterling when he clapped him on? And I was thinking, did that come on at Wembley and that's why they booed? But for me, it wasn't. And I've been trying to think of whether it's the constant issue with Liverpool and why we always sit here and say we're not really that bothered about the England team, but he's not even from Liverpool, he just wears a Liverpool shirt. Or is it to do with the fact that, I don't know, Raheem Sterling's the poster boy for England and they don't like the fact that he's upset that image, or shouldn't even have to be trying to explain it, because it's absolutely ridiculous. Yeah. And I do wonder, I genuinely do wonder, if Joe Gomez played for Leicester, if Joe Gomez played for Bournemouth, if he played for West Ham, if he played for Man City or Man United, would he have been booed on that pitch? I don't know if he would have been.
I think the Manchester United thing's interesting, because I think you speak to Man United fans and they say there was some of their lads were booed, you know, in the 90s and things like that, and that's why they sort of distanced themselves from the England team. So I think Manchester United have had it as well. I think it's whoever's seen as like,
it's a high profile, isn't it? I suppose.
You know, the sort of the big club or whatever, and there's a bit of a backlash to that. I think the Liverpool thing is relevant though, because you remember when we played Holland and Virgil van Dijk got booed, and he wasn't even doing anything, was he? He was just like booed for being at Liverpool. So I think it's partly a Liverpool thing, and I think it's partly a, well, he's the star man, and you know, type thing. And so, you know, it's almost like, well, you know, it's his fault. But it's like you say though, you start looking at these things and you start trying to sort of justify it, and you're like, well maybe England shouldn't have made a big deal out of it, blah blah blah. But at the end of the day, people have to be responsible for their own actions. Sterling's got to be responsible for his actions, which, to be fair, he is trying to be, and also these England fans need to be responsible for what they've done. They can't say, well, it's been whipped up by the media, or it's been, you know, oh, it should have been kept up in-house. If you've booed him onto the pitch, then you've got to be responsible for how stupid that is.
I completely agree. And just like talking about Raheem Sterling, he's come out on Twitter and he had to, Raheem Sterling shouldn't have to come out on Twitter. He wants the case closed. He doesn't want this to go on any further. He's probably very embarrassed about what's happened.
Yeah.
And I personally think that Southgate handled it quite well, and that seems to be the majority. Sterling had to say it was hard for me to see my teammate get booed for something that was my fault. Joe's not done anything wrong, and for me to see someone who keeps his head down and works hard, especially after a difficult week for him, to be booed when he came on tonight was wrong. I've taken full responsibility and accepted the consequence. Now, there's no need to keep dragging this on. I think Southgate's done the right thing, trying to nip it in the bud by going, listen, we're in a world of social media. It's a social media age. Rumours will be flying everywhere. I think he was right to come out and sort of try and quash the rumours, set it straight, make Raheem Sterling apologise, and we move on from that. But it's just not being dropped. And I think I was listening to The Weekender, and it reminded me a little bit of the only way I can compare it to something this season was the Sadio Mane Mo Salah. When Mane started kicking off at Salah, not passing the ball, but Liverpool just went, it's fine, done, move on.
Yeah.
Whereas this, it just keeps rumbling on, and Southgate, in his post-match interview, had to come out and say something. He said he's hugely disappointed for Joe. Joe's done nothing wrong, and no England player should be booed like that when they're wearing the shirt. All the players are particularly disappointed with that. And there's been a major show of support for him online as well. And the thing is, what did they finish up? 7-0? 7-0?
Yeah.
Against Montenegro? Like, there's no need for it. And like I say, loads of people have been coming out and saying it's wrong. Liverpool shared an image of him on Instagram with just a simple heart, which was enough of a message. But I just hope now, for Joe Gomez's sake, this just gets swept under the rug and moved on.
Yeah, well, hopefully, because, he hasn't asked for any of this, so he's just turned up for England duty, and Raheem Sterling's done something stupid, and then now he's been embroiled in this thing where, he is a quiet lad. As Sterling says himself, he's just someone who keeps his head down, and now, he's been thrown into, this situation, which, not of his fault. So hopefully, I think the backlash to the booing's been so strong that I think hopefully it jolts a few people and makes a few people think and go, do you know what, just because you don't like a situation or just because something isn't to your, how you would have done it, doesn't mean you blame who is essentially the victim in all this. Yeah, so listen, we'll see how it unfolds. Hopefully it will be put to bed. Even though it's international break, there is a huge game coming up this weekend. It's a Merseyside derby. Liverpool women are taking on Everton women. And the little insight you're about to see is from Tuesday. Myself and Gareth Roberts went down to Anfield to speak to a couple of the players and the manager, Vicky Jepson, ahead of the weekend. We're at Anfield. I don't need to say much more, really. You've come up through the ranks, through the academy, and now you're getting to play on probably one of the biggest stages in world football. How does it feel for you to know that you're going to be playing to a huge crowd here on Sunday?
Amazing, something that I probably never thought that I'd do, and I think it's going to be an amazing occasion, and we literally can't wait.
As a Liverpool fan growing up, to think that you're going to be playing on this pitch, you're going to be playing a derby, to a big crowd that are going to be right behind you, it must be amazing.
Yeah, I can't wait, if I'm honest. It's going to be a highlight of my career, being able to get the opportunity to be here as a player, not as a fan.
And obviously at Frenton Park as well, after the game, what I love is that the manager and yourselves always take the time to go and speak to the fans and get photos as well. So when people come down with the young lads, the young girls, they can get pictures, they can speak to you. You're not just going to turn your backs on them, you're dead accessible to them, aren't you?
Yeah, definitely. Like I say, that's part of our jobs as well as female athletes, is to grow our game. It's not just about turning up and playing. We've got other jobs to do, and it's about putting us out there and being role models for people and being accessible so that these girls get to see women being athletes and role models for them.
The results haven't been great after recently, but what better way to kickstart, your next sort of couple of games, get a couple of wins under your belt than the derby, so we can get behind, just get in the stadium, make it loud, make it noisy, and just go and support you all on the pitch.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we want as many people to come as possible. Yeah. Like you said, it's only £5 and tickets, I think they stopped selling on Saturday, so please go and buy your tickets. But I think it's going to be amazing, and we want to put a performance on for everyone.
So you heard them, get yourself down there on Sunday. Tickets are on sale until tomorrow at the box office. They're not available online anymore, so if you do want a ticket, it's important to remember that you have to get your ticket in person by tomorrow. Listen, just go on a little walk, take the car, have a little drive out, go and get your ticket. Take a couple of yous down, it's £5 for an adult, kids go free. Season ticket holders get theirs for free, but you still have to register with the club. But like I say, they're only on sale until tomorrow. But they're expecting a big crowd. They should expect a big crowd. It's at Anfield and it's a Merseyside derby. You're going along, aren't you? It'll be a good little day.
I bought my ticket on Wednesday, got it in. I think the online deadline was 1 o'clock, and I bought mine at 12. It was. I remember bought it because I had a meeting somewhere, and I was like, I was like legging in to get it, so I didn't have to kind of scoot up. I mean, I could have just gone on Saturday night, but I thought I'll get in. But I was really pleased with how little of the stadium I had to choose from. That was really nice. So I was just expecting, how it'll just be, wherever you want type thing, still a few days before. But, there's only a couple of blocks in the lower Centenary. You could still buy tickets similar in the Cop and then a bit more at the Annie Road. So they're open up 3 stands and all 3 of them have sold well. So, yeah, expecting a really good crowd for it on Sunday. It's going to be a proper atmosphere. And I think the players will respond to that as well. The teams who've played so far in the league at the kind of main stadium, so I know Spurs have done it, I think Arsenal as well, City I think have too, although they've got a quite nice stadium anyway, and the players afterwards have spoke about it and said, how good it was, how it felt, a bit more of a sort of, a proper game, if you like, not to say they normally don't, but they'll raise the game based on the crowd, just like any football team would. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, and Derby in it, so I'll just after 2 minutes I'll be screaming.
The girls were great as well. I mean, obviously I spoke to them. Missy Beaucairn's she's sound, she's 18, she's a Scouser through and through. She goes home and away to the men's game. She is bang up for this. She's rallying them all around.
Throwing tackles in all over the shop.
I love it. Because as well, there's an extended version of what you've just seen on the Weekender as well, about 10 minutes talking to the players and Vicky. But we also had Sarah Halpin on, who is an Everton fan, and she usually covers Everton men's team, but she follows the Everton women's team as well, and she's doing a bit of work for them at the moment. And she was talking about how they're getting on, and we made a joke, Andy made a little snide joke about it. Could be the first time that they win a derby at Anfield in 30 years. So, yeah, I mean, I'd like to think not, but...
Yeah, we want to keep that record going.
We do want to keep that record going, but listen, get yourself down there and show the girls your support. It'll be a good little day out, and like I say, it's a £5, and it'll be good. It's a derby, get down there. Just before we go, Sadio Mane, I've made a note and I've literally put Sadio Mane as being dead nice. That's not a news flash, is it? Let's be honest. So I just wanted to bring it up because there's a lot of negativity. We're hearing about Joe Gomez and Sterling scrapping and all this and the other boo, and it's all negative. And Sadio Mane's there bringing a light back into our world, which is a simple video of him getting off the bus, and there's loads and loads and loads of of those massive however many litre bottles of water, and this fella's trying to do it all on his own, and he literally gets off and he sees, and he makes an effort to say, do you want a hand, and then starts carrying the stuff in. And I just thought it was a really nice thing to see, something so simple, but we're so used to just seeing footballers get off the bus and go in, and probably the bags being carried for them. But this man, the stuff he's doing in his hometown as well, and creating schools and the money that he's putting back into his country, I just think he's a wonderful advocate for a footballer.
Yeah, no, he's great, and this isn't the first type of this story you've seen. There's the stories around, obviously, he prays a lot, he goes to a mosque in Liverpool, and the imam there saying, afterwards he'll have little jobs to do, and he'll do it, you know what I mean? He'll be sweeping up, he'll be cleaning, as you say, because that's the expectation of everyone who goes to that mosque is to help out, and he's like, well, I'm no different, I'm just here, to pray along with everyone else. And, he's obviously come from humble beginnings and stuff like that. There's a story, is it Ollie Kay on The Athletic who went to watch
brilliant, that video, isn't it?
Senegal, to watch Liverpool play kind of in his village. And yeah, I think he is someone who doesn't seem to forget where they come from. Obviously, he's an amazing athlete. He's done incredible things in football and will continue to do even better things, I'm sure. But he's still got that humility of, I get off a bus, there's stuff to be carried, I'll just grab it.
Yeah, I just thought it was a really nice thing to see, and everyone's praising him for it. But I think he's that humble that he doesn't want to be praised for it. He just does it because it's what he does. It's not a big deal, and to be honest, it shouldn't really be a big deal, but like I say, I just think because so much gets said about footballers now, it's just nice to see a little bit of humanity in a way, because we put them up on such a pedestal, the gods that we worship. And
he'll still never stop for me in a mix zone, by the way, but he always gives me a lovely smile, and you know what, that's enough.
That's enough, isn't it? It carries on with your day.
Lovely big smile.
He's always great on the videos that the club do of inside Anfield as well. He's always acting up to the camera. He absolutely loves it.
Loves life.
He does love life, and wouldn't you if you were Sadio Mane? I wish I was Sadio Mane. I think we all wish we were Sadio Mane. Right, we've got a lovely little competition for you now. So speaking of boss Liverpool players, James Milner, we spoke to him a couple of weeks ago. We got him to sign one of our shirts, and we want to give it away to you. So obviously we've done the preview with him, we've done a weekend segment, didn't we, on his book, and he very, very kindly donated us a shirt and signed it. So for your chance to win this, just simply download the Anfield Draft app, create a free account by Friday, November the 22nd, is that today or next week?
It's next
Can't
week.
figure it out. Next week by midnight, you'll all automatically be entered. So if you're already signed up to audio, video, premium, the full lot, you're already automatically entered. But if you... I can't get the words out. Basically, I'm saying download the app.
But if you've already downloaded
it, you're fine. You're already entered it. Thank you for the save. We'll email the winner by November 25th.
I was enjoying being your glamorous assistant.
I know. It's the Phil and Holly thing all over again, isn't it? So, listen, he done us a favour there, isn't he? And it'd be boss to win a signed Milner shirt as well. And just quickly, whilst we're speaking about the app, the full Jurgen Klopp video that you've done in the US tour is out for free today, but only available on the app. So if you do want to watch that in full, it is there for free, and that's there on the app today. Just before we go, we usually take a question as well from Talking Reds from the day before. There's a couple that come in, but I've picked up on this one from Tony Monts. Thank you very much for sending your question in. Why is Gini Wijnaldum not talked about as one of the world's best midfielders? So he goes on to say he's on the Ballon d'Or shortlist. He's absolutely smashing it for Netherlands, and he's bossed Man City's midfield last weekend. I don't think we put anywhere near enough emphasis on just how good he is.
Yeah, I don't think his teammates or the manager would disagree with any of that. They know how valuable he is, and made up for him that he is, you know, in that Ballon d'Or 30. I think for sometimes, you know, it is just eye-catching players who we notice more, isn't it? So it's the lads who get the goals up front, or, you know, amazing defenders who are doing sort of great things. And I think if you're in midfield, largely just doing your job to a very high standard week in, week out, maybe you don't get enough recognition or attention, but people are starting to notice Gini. Obviously, I'm sure it helps what he's doing for Holland as well. Seems to be scoring for fun for them at the moment. Apologies to Northern Ireland, but
Hi, George.
Craig, enjoy yourself tonight, mate. But yeah, no, he's absolutely flying at the moment. So he's getting his dues now, not before time. But I'm sure his teammates and his manager, club and country, already know what an amazing player he is.
That's amazing, and the fans as well. Listen, he's on the Ballon d'Or shortlist. You said it yourself, Tony. That says he's one of the world's best midfielders. So I think he's brilliant. I think we've actually got a much better midfield than in general that people give us credit for. So I think we have to give a little bit of a shout out to our captain Jordan Henderson as well, because I think he's fantastic and doesn't probably get the praise he deserves all the time. But they're amazing and we love them, don't we? And again, just before we go, we're going to give you one last plug. Basically, can you please vote for us for the FSA Awards? We are nominated in the fan media category. We really want to win it. We come close last year, so it'd be really nice if we could win it this year. And all you need to do is go to our website, www.theanfielddraft.com/vote for tour, TAW. Get on there, vote for us. There's a vote for like Mane and Van Dijk. I think you can vote for best punter for like Carragher, journalists, all that sort of stuff, but we are on there. So if you could give us your vote, we'd really appreciate it. And thank you as ever for supporting us, and it really is appreciated. So any votes for us would be amazing. So just going to leave you on a little clip of the Jurgen Klopp interview that we talked about earlier, the US tour where he sat down with Neil and John, basically uncut. He was brilliant. Have a nice weekend.
When you got to do the parade, when you started that bus journey, I mean, it was unbelievable the number of people that you went past, and just getting to see, because we play in front of 55,000 people. Only 55,000 people can get into the ground. That's how many seats there are. There's nothing we can do. And then all of a sudden they open the streets up, and everyone, all those players, you get to see exactly what everyone thinks of Liverpool.
We all had the same, from the coaches, we all had the same impression. So that we really thought, wow, unbelievable. And like, now it's done. And then we turn And then, wow. and then it started. And I have still no idea how you did it with the sound level. Keep it on one level. It's unbelievable. It was not like, ooh, people shouting and then the other one shouting. All how does that work? So that was completely overwhelming. Completely. It's for a person too much attention. To be honest, it's not that you think it's exactly what I want to be, where I want to be. It's like, okay, all eyes on me or stuff like that. So it's nice, but you cannot. It's stress as well because you cannot get all the eyes, but you want to have eye contact. It's like it's all really. It's too much, but it's the best thing you can ever do. It was unbelievable.